We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right. Visit our friends there at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue at the Big Cheese. Go to BigCheeseMiami.com. Check out that enormous menu. So that way when you get there, you're ready to go. But order those garlic rolls when you get there because those things are to die for. All right, Manny. The Notre Dame game, my brother, talk to me. These are the moments that we've been waiting for Mario to win these kind of games in this kind of an atmosphere with a shit ton of recruits watching and going, oh man, I want to be a part of this, man. So tell me, what were the results of that beautiful Sunday night?
Well, first of all, the impact of just having that game, playing that game, having it on a Sunday night with no competition, right? No pro football game, nothing else to distract you. The amount of people that tuned in to watch that game, that's immeasurable. You had over 100 recruits there from, the 2026, 2027, 2028 classes, guys that are committed elsewhere, guys that are committed to the Canes, to be able to soak up that atmosphere and then to end it with a win and not a Miami loss, which is what we've seen for many, many years, right? Not a whole lot of top 10 victories for this program. But to have a night like that, I think, again, immeasurable, the amount of impact it's going to have because the next few years, assuming Miami finishes the job this season and makes the college football playoff, you're going to have kids that watch that game and said, man, I was excited by the way that Miami looked that night, right? And I want to jump on board. That said, the immediate turnaround, there hasn't been anything yet. There hasn't been any new recruiting commitments. In fact, the news has been that one of their bigger commitments in the 2027 class, Kenton Dobson, who's a local Miami product, is, I guess, on the verge of flipping to North Carolina, who just got killed by TCU on Monday night. And I know you're probably thinking, and most of the fans are thinking, what the hell? What the hell does that mean? It means a couple of things, though. One, that kid's probably trying to squeeze some more money out of Miami, okay? To get a bigger NIL deal, he could potentially reclassify to the 2026 class. And so I'm sure that's what his agent and everybody representing Kenton Dobson are thinking. But number two, this is a long game. This is a long process. Nobody signs anything until December, right? And so what I would tell all the Miami fans who are disappointed, like, man, why haven't we flipped guys already? Why aren't a bunch of dudes flipping to us? That's not the way recruiting works, especially nowadays where NIL plays such a big factor and you're negotiating money up until signing day, right? Those are the last conversations. I remember being with Jeremiah Smith when he ultimately signed with Ohio State a couple years ago, and the conversations over money between Miami and Ohio State were happening right up until he signed the paper late at night. And he didn't sign with Ohio State till late at night on signing day because that's when he got the guaranteed money that he was looking for. So the flipping, the whole hat game, the big pronouncements, all of that is a bunch of BS. All of that is posturing during the season, the commitments. In the end, the final 24 hours is what matters, and whether or not the schools match those numbers and hit those numbers. So I would say this. The impact is immeasurable, and there's a lot of guys that I thought were at that game that could potentially flip to Miami. You want me to go down the list?
Yeah, hell yeah. Give me the big
All right.
cheese. Give me a couple that fans, should be alert on and maybe follow.
Yeah, Anthony Jones is a kid out of Alabama. He's one of the best edge rushers in the country. He committed to Oregon early in the process, okay? Miami was right there for Anthony Jones, Tank Jones. He was at the game Sunday night. James Johnson, the kid out of Miami Northwestern, who's another 5-star type defensive lineman, top 100 recruit. Calvin Russell, the wide receiver who's committed to Syracuse. Derek Cooper, who's committed to Texas. Those were all the big name 2026 guys that were there that could potentially flip to Miami, I think, if the Hurricanes finish the job, which is what you and I talk about all the time. Oh, like, it's one thing to win that game and to get everybody's attention and to get people excited. But if you don't make the playoff at the end of the season, what do you have? A win over Notre Dame and a disappointing finish. So I think if Miami finishes the job, makes the college football playoff, gets to the ACC championship game, potentially wins the ACC championship game, all of those guys could look back to what happened Sunday night and say, you know what? I was there that night. That was awesome. Mario finished the job. And they could potentially be players to flip. I think Anthony Jones and James Johnson are probably the two most likely. Calvin Russell is really good friends with Malachi Toney. He was basically there to support him. They play on the same 7-on-7 team. Derek Cooper, at this point, I think he's getting so much money from Texas. I know the people recruiting him from Texas do not want to let him go. So I think Derek Cooper is probably a long shot. But I think the two defensive linemen, Jones and Johnson, are the two guys that could potentially flip.
All right. I like that. All right. Any injuries or anything developed throughout the week from the Notre Dame game?
I don't know, to be 100% honest with you, because there were guys that got nicked up in that game. Jordan Lyle was the biggest one. He only ended up playing 10 snaps, and obviously that's a physical contest with the Irish. I don't expect him to play this week only because you're playing Bethune-Cookman. But Mario and the people I spoke to seem to be pretty confident that this was just, an injury that they're being careful with because they had other guys that could carry the rock. Like Marty Brown played awesome in that game. The North Dakota transfer did his job, right? He scored a touchdown. He ran hard. He was blocking well. They feel like they've got three legitimate dudes in the backfield with Marty Brown. Like the feeling is
the ball too. Brown also was able to catch the ball too, dude. He was a player, bro. It's cool.
Yeah. So I think Jordan Lyle will be back, but he'll be back for the USF game. If he plays Saturday, it wouldn't surprise me either because I don't think he's hurt enough to be out. But knowing Mario, knowing it's a short week, knowing he was banged up in the last game, he's just going to tell the kid to take the day off because they don't need him.
Hell, who's the fourth back?
The fourth back is Pringle, the freshman that they picked up. So
that's who I'm playing against Bethune-Cookman, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get like a carry or two to start off the first series. Him and the other, and then Brown kid, and then I'm riding the other kid against Bethune-Cookman for 3 quarters.
Chris Wheatley Humphrey's another name to know because he's a guy who's been here now. This is his second year, and he's an explosive back as well out of South Florida. Those are the guys that are going to play a ton. Listen, Bethune-Cookman lost, I think, 41-9 to FIU. What is UM going to do to them?
Right. That's my point. It's like all the backups should be playing in
exactly.
This game. I even the starter, the quarterback, Beck should be out by the half.
Yeah, Emory Williams, he talked about how much, and the coaches have talked about this too. I don't think they're blowing hot air up our ass. They talked about how much that guy's improved, that he really put a focus on losing weight, on fixing his throwing motion. He looked terrible in the bowl game, obviously, against Iowa State. But this is a kid who, was an Elite 11 quarterback. Shannon Dawson was very happy, working with him, trying to develop him. So this is his opportunity for Emory Williams to play a ton on Saturday and to show like, hey, I got my shit together. I'm ready to play.
Transfer window. We got something going on. What could be happening in January?
Yeah, the oversight committee for Division I football approved the move to a single transfer portal window beginning January 2nd, lasting 10 days. And so just for the football fans who don't keep track of this, we've had 2 portal windows now for a couple of years, right? We've had the winter portal window, which lasted 20 days last year in December. And then you had a spring transfer portal window in April where guys were allowed to kind of jump back in even after they transferred in January, right? If they didn't like where they were going. And that's kind of a big deal, because there were over 1,100 guys who transferred in the spring transfer portal window, including a few guys who ended up starting for Miami on Sunday night. Jacoby Thomas, the safety from Tennessee that they picked up, Keontae Scott from Houston, Mohamed Torre from Rutgers, the linebacker. You had 3 starters on defense, and then Keelan Marion, the wide receiver from BYU. So the advantage of having the spring transfer portal window for Miami was evident, right? They were able to get 4 starters out of that window. Well, now that's going to be gone, and essentially, there's been a lot of coaches that are just tired of it. They're tired of having to work multiple sort of free agent periods, and so look, it still needs final approval. But it seems like this is what we're gravitating towards. When I was in Nashville for the meetings with the GMs and all the the symposium that they had there last month, a lot of the guys were just saying, look, like we want to be able to build our rosters and by January be ready to go. So the window would be January 2nd to January 11th, I guess, that 10-day window. And it would put a lot of pressure on Miami and all of the programs to hit. Like, you can't have any misses. And that's the thing. You really don't know what you're getting. Sometimes you get a guy in here in the winter window and you realize, yeah, we made a mistake evaluating this guy. He's not as good as we thought. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how this affects teams, because before you could make a mistake and then go back to the spring window and be like, well, we're going to go steal a guy from Houston. We're going to go steal a guy from Georgia State or whoever. And try to fix our problems.
All right. Do they cover?
What is the spread? I don't even know. Is it like 40? My guess is yes, because people don't realize, dude, like these FCF schools, like the days of the Appalachian States pulling upsets, against, Michigan, that's over, bro. The transfer portal has ended that, because if you've got a good squad and you're at the FCS or the G5 level, all of those dudes are gone. They're all going to get paid somewhere else.
I would imagine that this will also be good, because we've watched Kane's teams struggle, starters, against FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, whatever scum crap from northeastern Louisiana State or whatever, and we're like, what the hell is going on here? And maybe now we get back to what you're supposed to do. Your first team comes out, you throttle them, and then your second team comes out and continues to throttle them. And that would be actually like this was a good test this past week, that you finally beat a top 10 team, a physical team. You were able to get in there and, as Mario said, rock 'em, sock 'em robots and win that, And so now this week, it's the complacency week. Okay, do you come out as a first team and just, okay, look, these guys can't hang with us. Let's just put a 30 burger on them right away, and then let's get the second guys in there, and they continue and add 30 more, throughout the rest of the game. That's when okay, not only are you back with depth, but you're back also on the focus, because that's how it used to be with the Canes, and that's how it is when great teams play these kind of teams. You got
to throttle them, and you need guys to get experience now. All of those young guys want to feel like they're a part of the team, and when Miami was great back in the day, a lot of games were over by the third quarter, and all of those freshmen were getting a ton of snaps. And in places like Ohio State, Georgia, places that win national championships, that continues to happen. At Miami, that hasn't happened in a while. You look at the snap counts for a lot of freshmen over the last couple of years, and it's 4 snaps, 6 snaps for the whole season, because Miami was nip and tuck in every game they had to play. So I think without question, this is one of those games that you want to get as many opportunities for guys so they can get some film and they can get that experience and feel like they're a part of the program and not just a guy who's never going to play and I got to enter the portal.
I want Carson Beck to come out and put together 3 touchdown drives and take a 21-0 lead, and then they look around and go, yeah, we've had enough of this. Let's go to the other guys and let's start, and save Beck and save any of these other guys from any kind of, like Bain. What the hell do I need to use this guy for this week?
You really shouldn't have to at all. I think ultimately this game will be over by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't want to see what you've seen in the past. Now I want to see the next step of do what you're supposed to do with these kind of teams. That's your next test, and see, okay, let's see what you got now. Okay, we know they're not your equal, but treat them that way. Let's go. Don't surprise me that at the end of the first quarter, we're looking around going, bro, it's 7-3. What the hell is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've seen that in the past, and it just
I don't think we're going to see that with this group, dude. They're too good on the offensive and defensive lines to be in those kind of messes anymore.
All right, what do you got going on in the Athletics so Canes fans can check you out and college football fans?
Yeah, so I had my oddly specific predictions for the week. The Oklahoma-Michigan game is the big game this week. You've also got USF Florida, which will be a very interesting game in Gainesville. Missouri, Kansas are playing for the first time since 2011. That's been a rivalry of over 130 years or whatever between those schools. So I know it's not as exciting a weekend from a top 10 matchup perspective, but I think Michigan, Oklahoma on Saturday night will be interesting. Sam Kahn, my friend who works with me over at The Athletic, just wrote a huge piece on transfer portal buzz. I had some stuff that was going to go in there. It ended up getting cut because he had so much content, and we had the news yesterday about the transfer portal window switching from 2 to 1. So, but I'll have some more content on that, and I'm sure I'll be writing more about the Canes here in the coming weeks, especially before the Florida game.
Follow him on Twitter, Manny_Navarro, and subscribe to The Athletic.
Can I say one more thing, though?
Of course.
The Mayor's Pickleball League. That's my little my pickleball league that I run Wednesday nights at Blue Fury. I got to get you to go to Blue Fury over in Opelika, man. I want the pickleball community to start showing up over there. What's that?
I'm not far from there. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Come down there and check it out, man, because our pickleball friends are excited and pickleball's picking up. Have you played it yet? You've been playing, right?
Yes, I actually have played with the wife. Yes.
You got to come down. We got AC in there, brother. We got a nice covered court.
I go to the courts at the Miccosukee Golf Course.
Okay. That's a nice one. I've played down there before. Yep.
They have courts there, so I go with the wife there, and that's where we usually end up playing because it's close by the house. So
all right. Yeah. I got to go down there and play you one time.
I never thought when I used to do Saturday shows at that Miccosukee Golf Club like 25 years ago that I would be back there playing pickleball instead of golf.
It's a fun place.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, Manny, have a great weekend, my brother. Enjoy the game, and we will catch up next week. Thank you, sir.
All right, brother. Take care.
You got it. Manny Navarro, reach out to our friends at Big Cheese, baby. Go there for lunch, for dinner. Go over for the weekend. Take some friends and family members. The food is awesome. They serve, it's family servings. So you're going to get a nice large portion. There's a good chance you'll be taking some food home, okay? BigCheeseMiami.com.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!